Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today we're going to try out this aluminum firing pin spacer that I got to replace the one on the G44, like I told you guys in the last video about. They shipped it really fast. It was 20 bucks, and we're going to see if this thing fits. I didn't think this was worthy of a complete video on the other channel to talk about, but let's see if this thing actually works, and if it does anything, or at least what it says it's supposed to. All right, so let's disassemble this slide portion here. All right, back plate off. There's the firing pin. And so the way that you will get this little thing apart is you have to depress the spring and get these cups off. And of course, I'm going to try to do this on camera, and most likely I will be unsuccessful and this thing will fly across the room. But who knows? Because every time I try to film something cool and special, I always ruin it. So let's see here. All right, so see, I'm trying to do it a different way so it's on camera. Well, there goes the one cup. And there it goes. See, I told you it would fling across the room, but it's right there on the ground. Not a big deal. All right, so with that off, this little spacer comes off, and the aluminum spacer goes on. And so far, seems to be correct. All right, so now I got to pick up that one little firing pin spring retaining cup here, and they have to cut away. I know it's right here on the ground. I knew I always dropped this stuff. That's why I should not do this on camera. It's pretty embarrassing. So let me get that. All right, so that was totally like 30 seconds. It was not 15 or 20 minutes of me looking around the garage for this little part. Actually, it was 15 or 20 minutes looking around for this little part. Every time this happens to me, and trust me, when you work on guns, when you got springs and detents and things, and they're going to fly off. They just are. They're always going to land in the most inopportune place, or the place you would think they would never land. Even though I have a big, spacious garage and has an odds of 99.99% chance of landing anywhere out in the open, of course, it doesn't. It never does. Anyway, I kind of want to have a gun parts room, which is like a little solid room, which is you and the gun part. You go in, it's all completely sealed. So when the detent or the spring goes flying, it can't go anyplace else. I know that sounds silly, but I kind of fantasize about having a gun parts room where I can do this, so if the spring goes flying, I can find it, because it can't, there's no place for it to go. But anyway, let's put this thing back together, and maybe to prevent the whole thing from flying across the room, I will go ahead and just do it right here on the bench. It's pretty easy to do. Let me put these two little cups in there, just like that. All right, so there we go. So now we got the firing pin assembly back with the aluminum spacer. So let's see if this thing actually fits back in the slide. And there you go. I dropped the ejector spring. Now this one I actually can see. Man, I'm fumbling around today a whole bunch. All right, so ejector spring, or extractor spring, excuse me, in there. And let's put the firing pin assembly back in. And it seems to, yeah, seems to fit and work like it's supposed to. Okay. And let's put this back plate on. Let's see if this thing works like it's supposed to. Let's depress that. It seems to be kind of stiff in there. It's not going in all the way, so I don't know what that means. Let's take this thing back out. Kind of mess with it here. Everything else looks correct. All right. Let's try it again. All right, there we go. Now it's working. Don't know what it was hanging up or catching up on. And here we go. Yep, goes in like it should. And okay, it's back together. And that spacer seems to be working like it's supposed to. So hopefully that part will not wear. So there we go. So let's put this whole gun back together. Now these Glock 44s, you're supposed to be able to safely dry fire them because they designed the firing pin spring not to come down on a part of the barrel. In case you don't know, do not dry fire 22 guns. because they are rimfire, which means the firing pin is going to hit the side of the barrel instead of the actual like opening or the chamber like it would on a center fire. Okay, so everything seems to be working. Everything seems to work just fine. So there you go. So that's that aluminum spacer in there. So now you guys got to see me fumble around with some gun parts and lose them. And yes, I do that all the time. It is one of the most frustrating things. I hate it. So I'm just going to leave it in there to show you guys I'm human too. So there you go. So that aluminum spacer, you guys can just go online. If you got one of these Glock 44s, maybe you want to replace that. So there you go. Not worthy of a full kind of fledged out video on the other channel, but there it is. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. And as always, thanks for watching.